A Rutherford County family says authorities used excessive force when they tasered a 16-year-old girl in handcuffs.
Officers used a taser on Moesha Carson outside a courtroom after they say she became uncontrollable. News 13's Ingrid Allstaedt is live in our Rutherford News Center with more.
And Ingrid, the family is saying this was just unnecessary.
Well, that's true, and in part because of her size, describing her as being less than 100 pounds and being less than 5 feet tall.
Thursday morning, 16-year-old Moesha Carson entered the Rutherford County Courthouse with hands and feet in cuffs. Facing a judge for violating juvenile probation, Carson wasn't happy after hearing she would remain in custody. This security video shows Carson directly outside the courtroom where she began to cry, falling to the ground and kicking. Several officers then tried to control her. Carson's mother says it should have been easy due to her small stature.
These officers weigh 200-something pounds, and she weighs 94, and they were all over, just surrounding her, knees in her back.
Sheriff Chris Francis says the girl slipped her hand out of a handcuff, and after roughly 7 minutes of trying to restrain the girl, an officer used a taser to drive-stun the girl, which is tasing without firing projectiles.
Had pulled out his taser out of nowhere and put it on my daughter's backside. She shook real bad, and her shoes came off.
This was a normal response to someone who's being non-compliant.
Sheriff Francis says the appropriate force was used to control the situation in an effort to avoid physically hurting the small girl with more force.
I'm sure there could have been another technique used, but this particular technique that was used did not cause any harm, no injury to her. She didn't have any broken bones, no abrasions or scratches that I'm aware of. This was probably one of the safest ways that she could have been removed from the courtroom.
Once tased, Carson was then put inside a police vehicle. There, she allegedly bit and kicked an officer.
Once you're tased, you're confused, you're dazed, you know, you just scared, and of course she was scared. She's a child.
Carson's mother says she suffers from bipolar disorder and has been off medication for 30 days. Now she wants the charges to be dropped and the officer to be held responsible for the actions she claims were excessive.
Carson's mother also says that her daughter received medical treatment 30 minutes after being tased. The sheriff says this is a reasonable amount of time since she was drive-stunned. And Carson was charged with resisting a public officer, disorderly conduct, and assaulting a government official. In Rutherford County, Ingrid Allstaedt, News 13.